Hello guys, welcome to Vegan Booty Talks. This is a special episode. You're not gonna miss this one because I have a great guest for you guys. He is a 59 years old, 37 years vegan, is a natural bodybuilder and natural physique master champion. He is owner of Clean Machine Plant-Based Fitness Nutrition, author, national lecturer, vegan patient holder, and 2 times NEXTY winner for the best supplements of the year. Geoff Palmer here with us, and he is selected number 40 of the top 100 most influential vegans in the world. And he also created a 100% vegan bodybuilding competition in the world. So Geoff, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's Geoff, by the way.
I'm sorry. You see,
It's
what's
okay.
coming on with me today? Geoff, yes, Geoff Palmer. Sorry, you got it.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to talk about what's going on with the event.
I want to talk about not only about event, I want to talk about your history in bodybuilding and in vegan, just kind of fitness industry, because you did a lot and a lot of people don't even know. Like, for example, I heard about Vegan Machine brand and I tried the supplements and it was amazing, but I kind of didn't research myself to know who is behind it, right? As well as I'm sure a lot of bodybuilders, vegan bodybuilders, know about your event, but don't know a lot about you. So today I want to know more about you. And let's get started with, first of all, where are you from? And
Yes.
What do you do for living right now?
Yes. So I feel very blessed to live in Florida, where I was born and raised, and to live my lifestyle. Not everybody gets to work at what they love doing, and I do. I'm passionate about health and nutrition and fitness. I think it just makes a world of difference for people. I became vegan 37 years ago, March 15th, 1985. That's how far back when I became vegan. And I was suffering with severe suicidal depression. I lost my mother, my father, and both brothers at an early age, and it devastated me. And I had somebody help me break through that depression. And when I did, I just no longer wanted to hurt myself or hurt anybody else again. So I quit smoking, I quit drinking, I quit doing all drugs, and I quit eating all animal products that day. I said, that's it. I'm not going to hurt another creature, and I'm not going to hurt anybody else. But I was so thankful for that breakthrough. I said, I'm committing the rest of my life to helping other people live a healthy and happy life. And obviously that led me down a career path of nutrition, a plant-based diet, and exercise. So I wanted to help people reach their full potential, to avoid depression, to avoid most of the disease states that are taking lives today: cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes. These can all be changed and prevented for the vast majority of people just by a plant-based diet and exercise. But I also want to set that example. So here I am, turning 60 next in 2 months, and natural bodybuilding champion. You know, to be a 60-year-old with 17-inch arms, that's not very common. And I'm 100% drug-free. Haven't touched a drug. Actually, I had a tooth pulled and got a little Novocaine, but that's the limit of my total drug intake. I don't even take aspirin. That's how passionate about I am what I'm doing, and I just want to set that example for people.
Yes, well, this is huge. First of all, for those who don't see us, only listen, he looks amazing. Like, go ahead on my YouTube. I never gonna guess you 59. Oh my gosh, you look like young boy. That's incredible, first of all. But the second thing is, it's just amazing that in your age, you keep working out and keep moving around and feeling great. So it's just example of someone are following their passion and actually getting so successful with that, because you see what you did. Like you got so many things in our natural bodybuilding world that you done, and I want to talk about those too. So you become natural bodybuilder champion. So can you tell us a little more, like after you decided to switch fully plant-based and quit all those bad things, how you become a bodybuilder and how the idea of bodybuilding and competing get into your mind?
Yes. So I was attending VegFest, obviously a great place to meet other vegans, get great food, and have some fun and entertainment. And a woman came up to me and she goes, because I had to always wear vegan shirts, with logos on them, letting people know I'm vegan. And she came up to me and she goes, "Your arms are huge. How do you get like that being vegan?" And she goes, "My boyfriend won't believe it. Do you mind if I take a picture?" And I'm like, "Well, that's interesting." And as through the years of being around other men, this whole meat equals masculinity thing was really, I was like, wow, this is a really fear that is instilled in men, that somehow if they're gonna, go vegetarian, they're gonna turn weak and be sickly or something like that. And I said, I need to show them an example to let them get beyond the fear, because this fear is killing them. 20% of vegans, self-proclaimed vegans in the United States, are male. That means 80% of vegans are female. Now, this is really lopsided. We have a 50-50 population, roughly. Why are so many men resisting becoming vegan? I think it's because of these fears. So I wanted to try to break through this stereotype, because it breaks my heart to see so many men clinging to this fear, clinging to judgment from other males. Oh, you're a vegetarian, you're a wuss, or you're not strong, or whatever. I wanted to set a new example for men. Hey, look, you can be strong. You can be a champion on the stage, living as in 37 years, nothing but plants. 60 years of age, standing on stage and winning and beating everybody else on stage. That's what I want to show people. Not to show that I'm better or anything, but to show that you don't need to go down that path of eating animals, then getting disease states like cancer and heart attacks and diabetes and suffering. No one wants to suffer. I don't want to suffer. And I don't want to see all the rest of these guys go down this path simply because of fear of the unknown. So I'm trying to set an example. And that's why I created the World Vegan Bodybuilding Championship, the only 100% vegan natural bodybuilding championship in the world. It was
Yeah,
my passion.
that's amazing. And I want to just kind of jump in, because I'm sure people can ask how you define that. How you gonna, I know like in natural bodybuilding world, we do a drug testing, right? So how are you
Yes.
gonna define if those competitors are 100% vegan? Because you can lie, right?
You can, but in this day of social media, almost everybody's got quite a history on social media of their posts and their food. So
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to do a background check on people, but we'll also have them ask a lie detector test. So every single competitor will go through a polygraph. And if they don't
Mm-hmm.
pass, they don't compete. We did that for the first show. We did background testing, looking at all their history online.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody lives online these days, so it's not real hard to see what their history is. If you
Yeah.
see them sitting down with friends to a big beefsteak dinner, they're not vegan. But we never really had anybody that crossed that line. It's like, if you're not vegan, why would you want to be in a vegan competition?
Yeah, I just want to be a bad advocate here, because I know people are actually don't believe in anything. So especially when we're talking about being huge and being vegan, right?
Yes,
But
for sure.
but I'm glad you said that. So now I know. So the test is gonna tell us the truth for sure. And also, I just want to mention that you are champion in natural bodybuilding, which doesn't require to be vegan. So
Correct.
you created something totally different. So can you tell me a little more how the idea of creating this vegan bodybuilding show came to your mind? Because I'm sure, like, right now it's kind of a mainstream. So many people are interested in a plant-based diet. But before, when you went vegan like 30 years ago, it was so like, so new, right?
Yeah, to be honest, in 1985, when I became vegan, I didn't even know of the word vegan. Somebody came up and told me about a year after I'd been. I was calling myself a strict vegetarian because I didn't even know of the word vegan. That's how uncommon it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few vegans out there, but it was less than 0.1% of the population. So it's greatly increased now. But the reason for this, obviously, there's natural federations. There's lots of natural federations, OCB, INBF, NGA, which will be governing ours. So there's lots of ones that do drug testing for natural bodybuilding to confirm that people are free of drugs when they're competing. For those of you who don't know, traditional bodybuilding allows drugs. They turned a blind eye to that. That's how males can get to 300 pounds of muscle at 4% body fat. You cannot naturally achieve that. It's impossible. The body has stopgaps to prevent that from happening. You can only attain that with the help of drugs that will force the body to go beyond those natural barriers. So it's not fair for drug-free athletes to compete against them because they'll never be able to reach the size of a steroid-using athlete. And that's why I wanted to put people on stage and show everyone on stage in this event is going to be not only tested for drugs, but tested for being vegan. So I want to show people what can be accomplished without drugs and without animal products at all. You have to be vegan and natural for at least 1 year.
And when did you start it? When was your first event? And what are the struggles have you faced when you was trying to start it? Because I'm sure it wasn't as many vegan bodybuilders at that time.
No, it's true. And in the bodybuilding community, there's a camaraderie. So there's generally everybody, even though you're competing with other people, we all have an empathy for each other because we know how hard it is to diet and to train with such intensity to get into that condition, that shape. You know, as a bodybuilder, as an athlete, how difficult that is. So once you go through that process, you have a deeper respect for other people who are taking the stage. So even if somebody beats you, you still wish them well generally. But yes, I mean, look, I'm one of the more muscular guys in my entire gym, and I get people, men mostly, harassing me on occasion. Because they see my vegan shirts and they want to cause trouble. So that happens, and unfortunately that's a negative part of society. But by and large, most people are just interested and are curious. And of course, the first question they always ask is, where do you get your protein?
Okay, so let's get straight to it. So where did you get your protein? I hate this question, but I ask on my podcast, what is your top 5 plant-based proteins in your diet?
Yes. All right. So let's back something up. I was in college. I was a biopsych major. So I looked at total body physiology and how it affects mood and behavior. And in my studies, it's really clear. All essential amino acids, which make up every protein on this planet, is made by plants. Animals do not and cannot make them. That's actually why we call them essential amino acids, because it's essential for all animals to get them from outside their body, because we can't make them. So all protein originates in plants, 100% of it.
I know.
It's a silly question, but people just don't know this. I don't know why this isn't basic biology 101 in the schools, but it seems like we need to learn this all over again.
Yeah, great question. And when I simply put that to my clients, because even what you just said, for some of the people could be really hard to realize and understand. And when something that they are not familiar with, a lot of the people don't want to go in deep, and especially because they like to eat meat or dairy. So they're like, yeah, I don't understand what you're talking about. I put it simply. So you eat the chicken and I eat a first source of this chicken. The first source of protein that chicken ate, it was what? It was grass, right? So
Mhm.
chicken ate grass to grow, and then you kill the chicken and you eat the chicken. So instead of doing that, I eat the grass, the same what you eat, just the first source of that. And when I put this as simple, just like for kids, people get it and they get shocked. They like,
Mhm.
wait a second, really? And it's simple, but for some reason we got lost in all this
Mhm.
social media and all this, I believe, commercial, propaganda that
Mhm.
was put in our minds. And since God, it's got really, really better right now. And that's why I have this podcast, and that's why I have the conversation with you, because people need to hear about that more. So when was your first natural vegan bodybuilding show?
So a group called Plant Built, good friends of ours, Danny Taylor and Giacomo Marchese, they put together Plant Built team. So they put together 40 athletes that were all vegan,
Mhm.
both in powerlifting and bodybuilding. And we went and competed together as a team. And but we were still competing in a natural bodybuilding that was open to anyone and everyone. So it was even with 40 competitors there that were vegan, it was still dominated by non-vegans. And I said, well, that's great. That's cool. And that's a great start. But what
Mhm.
about just putting together a show that doesn't have anybody but vegans on stage so people can see for the first time and not have to say, is that person vegan or is that person vegan or is that person, an omnivore? All of them are vegan and they can just see it all together. And I think it has a much more profound impact. So, as much as I loved getting on stage and competing with other non vegans and inspiring them, I think there's a more powerful message to some degree and in different ways. It's all important. I don't want to take away from anything that's been done in the past, but I think this is kind of the next evolution, is to show really that you don't need any of this. I'm really excited. We had almost 50 athletes competing in our first show, and we're expecting hopefully to get closer to 100 vegan athletes on the stage
And
this time.
this is, so basically from that first 40 athletes show, this is the second event, right?
This is the second World Vegan Bodybuilding Championship. Yep. And it's the only one that is completely vegan in the world. Pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
and it's gonna be when? Tell everyone.
April 15th in 2023. So if you're watching this sometime in the future, yeah, and it's open to vendors, it's open to the public, so anybody can. It's indoors at the Broward Convention Center, world famous Fort Lauderdale Beach, gorgeous place to spend some time if you're traveling from out of town.
In
Um,
Florida, right?
in Florida, and we'll have Pilates and yoga and bar exercises and bodybuilding and fitness and health and everything in the lifestyle. We're really trying to bring it together as and all things that contribute to overall health and fitness and in the plant-based movement.
This is amazing, and I'm sure I'll be there. I don't know if I'm gonna compete. I really want to, but April is kind of like the tricky time when I actually supposed to go off my season, because I'm in
Mhm.
season now. So
Mm.
I'm like, when I saw your event, I was like, I want to compete, but I wish I knew before, because like I should go off my season and this month, but we'll see what I can do, because I really want to join it. But anyways, guys, gonna be there, and I planning to do some seminars and join maybe your exhibition. By the way, so it's a only 1 day event. So if anyone wants to travel, they should be there for a couple days, or 1 day is fine.
We are planning a pre-event, but we haven't have that solidified yet. So we're still in discussions to make that happen, to make it a really cool pre-event. So if you're coming in the day before, as many of the athletes will, but even if you're coming from out of town, come in the day before. You can find out about the pre-event once we post it on the website, and find out more about that too. Should be a really fun 2 days, really, but the event itself is just 1 day on Saturday, but it should be a great time.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're doing this. It's like one of my dream. I think each of those vegan bodybuilders, especially natural ones, was thinking, I wish there's been a bodybuilding vegan show. When we compete on this NPC or IBB stage or WNBF, all this natural and unnatural federation, we all dreaming about to have something for us specifically.
Yes.
So it's a great start, and I'm excited because I believe this is maybe going to be a great jump to start a new movement in fitness and bodybuilding, because I see a lot of the movement just in general health, according to the vegans, but I don't see it in the fitness industry a lot, and it's amazing. And then I see more vegan supplement companies coming, you know, all the way up in the market. And I want to kind of also talk about your ones, which is, I believe, your company, Clean Machine, I believe in my, you know, fitness vegan career, it was the first one I saw. So you basically opened it a while ago, right?
Yes, we've been in business for 9 years. And my passion is, I'm a science geek. I love reading studies. So I was reading these studies about some incredible plants, but nobody was bringing them to market. And I said, get these plants to market. And my wife said, well, then let's stop complaining about it and let's do something about it. Let's help the people. Let's get them, make it available for more people to get the benefits. So I found this cactus, excuse me, I found this cactus flower that was the best at helping optimize hormone levels. And I'm like, wow, this could have tremendous health impacts, but also the fitness level. And I started taking it and doubled my testosterone levels within 6 months. Its unique properties in the plant itself is actually good for women and men, because it actually prevents the masculinization that women don't want and the prostate issues that men don't want, while optimizing the hormones at the same time. It's like, oh my God, we've got to get this plant. So I was the very first and only person ever to bring this cactus flower, DM33, to market. I found the richest source of omega-3 of any plant in the world, ahi flower, and nobody had even heard of it. Had you heard of ahi flower before that? So I brought it to market. It's now known to be 4 times more effective than flax, chia, hemp, or most of the other plant-based omegas on the market, and full spectrum, unlike algae. So it is the #1 omega-3, and I was the very first person to bring that to market. It won the NEXTY Award, the top supplement award in the United States. And I was like, but I got to find a protein source. So I found this water plant called Lemna, and I was the very first person to bring that plant. It's the richest source of plant protein of any plant on the planet.
Wow.
And it's the richest source of micronutrients. So it's more nutrient rich than kale, spinach, spirulina, all of them. It's just incredible to have the #1 superfood and the #1 plant protein in the world in a single plant, and nobody's using it. So I'm taking these plants through the research and science that I know, the best in class, the best in hormone optimization, the best in omegas, the best in protein, the best in superfoods, and just bringing them to the people so that you can have access to it. Because I really feel in this society, when we have all these stresses and pressures, that our health is being negatively impacted more than it has ever been. So we need even more really rich nutritional, foods and herbs and supplementation that we can add back to our lifestyle to help combat this amount of exposure to radiation and toxins and plastics and all the other things that are in our air and water and systems. So, I think when you can find the best in nature, it can only do good things for the rest of the people. And that's my passion. We even donate, we've donated over 12,000 meals to hungry children through our efforts through Food for Life Global.
Wow.
It's great to take success of doing what you love and helping people through their nutrition, and their purchases end up helping even more by feeding hungry children. The Ukraine project, all the people displaced in Ukraine from the war, we're helping feed them too as well. Thousands of people fed purely plant-based meals through our efforts. I love being in a position where I can help people get fit, be healthy, and even improve lives of other people.
Well, I didn't know you helping even Ukrainians because I'm Ukrainian and it's a hard time for me as well. So it's amazing. And I think your supplements are one of the best on the vegan market, and not only in vegan market, I would say just in the market in America for sure. I want to ask you also about your D3. This is also was something I never see. Like, can you explain why vegan D3 supplement is great and why we need that?
Yeah, great question. So D3 is actually not a vitamin, it's a hormone. It's activated by sunlight, but we're all living indoors. We're all
Mhm.
working indoors, we're living indoors, we work out indoors mostly. So we're not getting the sun exposure. And vitamin D3 is important for brain health, for heart health, for hormone health, for sexual health, for joint health. It goes on and on. D3 even increases muscle strength by about 20%. Most people don't know
Wow.
that.
Wow.
But probably one of the most important parts about vitamin D3, vitamin D3 activates our immune system, and it helps produce an immunoglobulin called cathelicidin. I know that sounds pretty sciencey, but I'll just explain it to you. Cathelicidin actually attacks viruses in 6 different ways. So when you boost your level of D3, you boost your level of immuno, and that can attack viruses, including COVID. Over 100 doctors got together and through the World Health Organization and recommended 4,000 IUs of vitamin D3 for everyone, because the clinical research is overwhelming that it reduces the amount of people that get COVID, the amount of people that are hospitalized by COVID, and even the amount of people that die from COVID. So really important to make sure you're getting healthy levels of D3. Now, why this particular D3? Most of the D3s on the market are from, the vegan ones are from mushrooms, which actually make D2, but you can force them to make some D3, and lichen, which also make D2. This is actually from algae. So it's the first one from organic algae. So it's organic for one,
Mhm.
but it's 100% pure D3, whereas the others can have vitamin D2. Vitamin D2 is a different form that actually can inhibit your body's utilization of D3, so it can lower it. So there wasn't really a great vegan vitamin D3 on the market until this Veg D3. So I am very excited to be one of the very first companies to ever bring this organic, vegan, pure D3 to market. And now vegans have a true pure vegan D3 source that's organic and vegan.
Yes, I find out about that as well. So that's why I was like, it's important to ask because a lot of people don't even know the difference. And, they just buy what's popular. And I think your
Mhm.
brand is popular, but it's more specifically known in science, circles. And I
Mhm.
believe for the supplements, it's so important. I appreciate that you put money in science and not in promoting your product, because a lot of the time,
Yes.
you see some huge names right there because you see them a lot. So they put a lot of money in the market and then, promoting themselves, but they don't put money in studies. And that's sad. So whatever they have inside, it's not really what says on the label sometimes. So I
Yeah.
totally agree. So where people can find your supplements?
Yes, you can find them at cleanmachineonline.com, and you can find out more of the Vegan Health and Fitness Expo at vhfexpo.com. So that's VHF for Vegan Health and Fitness. And I'm just really hoping I hope you can make it. I hope you can compete, because you have an amazing representation for the vegan movement, and to be amongst all those people will be a very empowering experience for sure. So I
Oh, of
really hope you
course.
can make it.
Yeah, I will be there for sure. I mean, unless we're gonna have nuclear bombs in America, which is I hope not gonna happen. But my life is right now is kind of around that. But in the same time, I'll be there for sure, guys. So you can come, all my followers and listeners, just to meet me there. But
Awesome.
I think I will also add all the links in the description down below, so you can try the supplements, and then you should definitely check it out, the expo. And I just gonna point right there, guys, because I know I have a different listeners. You don't have to be vegan to come
No.
there. You don't even have to be a bodybuilder to come there. It's just going to be a fun event, an amazing time in Florida that you should check it out. And I think, you know, just sometimes, like, I just felt this a lot with my clients. Sometimes I got clients who are vegan, and sometimes I get clients who are non-vegan. And those who are non-vegan come to me and like with some type of a question, would you work with me? You know what I mean? Like, I am always say, you don't have to be vegan to attend vegan events or try vegan food. You don't have to go full turkey. You can just add a little bit more plants in your diet, or add one plant-based meal a day or even a week, or change your whey protein to plant-based one. Like, just like that, you already made a huge change for the planet, for your health, and for bodybuilding industry. I mean, for natural bodybuilding industry. So that's what I wanted to mention, because I wanted to see different people out there. It would be so cool, right, to see an actually non-natural or meat lovers bodybuilders in there, just to hanging out and checking out, you know, what we you know, do, because they kind of see us on those other competitor stages, right? But they don't really, so it's like a like a mirror situation. We are alone, and they, like, the most of the athletes are meat eaters. So it would be really cool to see meat eaters in a vegan event, so they can feel and see the difference, how people look, how they talk, how they behave. Because on my podcast, I'll be, guys, totally honest, like, I love the physics of, let's say, some great bikini pros in IBB. I love the physics, don't get me wrong. But when I talk to them on the backstage and the voice sounds like a man, you gotta be, it's make me scary. Right? So totally, no one is talking about that. But if you take some specific drugs, it change your voice, it change your hair growth, it change your hormones. And if you're a female, this is tremendous changes for your life. You can get a real trouble after you stop doing that. So we have to talk about that. And then you can come and check out the difference. Natural vegan bodybuilders, all healthy, truly healthy. And this is, you know, what the sport about. It's not about who is the hugest guy on the stage. It should be about health. And then everyone, for some reason, forget about that. And this is sad, right?
So, you know, within the last 12 months, there have been 8 big-time bodybuilders who have died of a heart attack before they even reached the age of 45.
Yeah.
That's, you know, for those who have families, those who have loved ones, wife, children, whatever, those guys are gone. They are not there to support their families, their kids, you know. That's heartbreaking, that you don't need to do that. And that's what I want to show is, look, you can take a different path. You can feel proud, you can win medals, you can have a physique that everybody's envious of, but you can do it healthy. You can do it without the drugs. Yeah, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. It takes a lot of dieting. It takes a lot of stuff, but you can achieve this. And how much more pride will you take if you know you've done it all yourself, without the use of drugs, without the use of animal products, without having to hurt other animals? That's just not necessary. And how much more proud can you be at the end of the day when you said, I did it without those things? That's a real pride, you know, that you can take.
Absolutely. And also, talking about longevity, that's going to be forever for your life. Your changes is going to be sustainable. And we are talking about, we want that. We want to change our physiques, be healthy, and live long life. We don't want to die in 40 years, right? So yeah, if we're talking about longevity, not even in sport, just a long, happy life, we have to consider that as well. Okay, let me anyways come back to that question I asked you, but you didn't answer. What is your top 5 vegan proteins? What do you eat? Because again, you were 59. Okay, you started even before I was born. So I'm just curious. You look amazing. So I'm sure a lot of people out there are curious, what do you eat? And
Mm.
then what is your exercise like look right now?
Yes. So what do I eat? Let's start there. So, it's funny when people ask me, what do you eat? And I say, cereal, burgers, pizza. They're like, what? I'm like, yeah, there's vegan versions of all of it. There's nothing basically that you eat pretty much that I don't also eat on occasion too. Now, do I eat more whole food, plant-based diet? Of course, yes, because it's healthier. Like I'll start my day out with berries, loaded with fruits. I always start my day out with fruits. I do strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, cherries, cranberries this morning. I had 5 different berries in there. And along with my protein, the clean green protein, which is from this water plant. It is just loaded with greens, loaded with chlorophyll, antioxidants, 40 grams of protein in that shake. And that's what I'll have for breakfast.
So you put
Then,
2 scoops, 40 grams of protein?
correct. Yeah. Now, I'm used to that. If you're starting out with that and you've never eaten that healthy and that clean, you got to give your body a little time to adjust to that lifestyle, because otherwise it can cause digestive distress if your microbiome is not prepared to handle that level of cleanness and level of plant-based diet. But mine is for sure. And then I'll have for lunch like a big dish of hummus, which is chickpeas, which is loaded with protein, healthy fats, got cumin in there, spices. So I use spices pretty frequently because they're the highest in antioxidants. Most people don't know things like cinnamon and cumin and turmeric are actually higher in antioxidants than blueberries or acai or many of the fruits that most people think, oh, those are the big antioxidant winners. It's like, no, the spices and herbs are really the ones that are the most potent antioxidant. So then I'll have for dinner probably a big stir fry with some tofu in it or with lots of vegetables, some grains and rice. And then sometimes I'll have a second shake in the evening too as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to shoot for 30 to 40 grams of protein within the day. Get as much whole fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and grains in. And then if I'm working out heavily, like back or legs, big muscle groups, I'll do closer to 40 grams of protein per meal, 3 to 4 times per day. And then if I am doing lighter body parts like just shoulders and arms and abs or something, then I'll do just more like the 30. So I get around 100 to 120 grams of protein a day through eating food and through supplementation. And
Easy.
yeah, it's easy. I mean, there's so many. I can have a bowl of oatmeal with lots of nuts and seeds in it, and some blueberries on top, and some cinnamon for the spices. I mean, it's really easy when you start doing this. A tofurkey sandwich, which is the soy and wheat-based, gluten-based version. Most people don't even think just a plain old peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The peanut butter has about 10 to 15 grams of protein. Your 2 slices of bread have another 25. So just 1.5 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and you're over 30 grams of protein already. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard.
It's totally not hard, especially right now. So many fake meats out there, fake
Mm,
deli slices, sausages, vegan frozen meats. I know those are not as healthiest ones. As a nutritionist, I totally don't really like them a lot. But if you want to kind of like have easy and something that you already know, especially when you just transition to the plant-based diet, this is so easy nowadays. I went vegan 8 years ago, I believe, and it wasn't easy then as it right now. So right now is like really so many options. The only problem that a lot of the time I hear is people have some digestion problems.
mm.
So do you have any maybe secret, maybe any, recommendation if someone is trying to add just more plants or switch to the
Yes.
plant-based diet and they struggle with digestion issue, what they can do to make it feel a little bit better?
Yeah, great question because I hear that a lot too. And the reason is plants are the only foods that make fiber. Fiber feeds your gut bacteria. So the gut that surround us, all the good bacteria feed on fiber. When they eat that fiber, it turns it into things called short-chain fatty acids, which then stimulate our immune, heal our gut, do lots of really positive things. But if you're not eating a lot of fiber, if you're eating a meat, dairy, eggs-based diet, there's zero fiber in any eggs, dairy, meat, fish, or anything. None. There's none. What they do contain is generally saturated fat and protein.
Yeah.
When you put saturated fat and protein, this feeds bile bacteria. These are the bad bacteria that produce pathogenic properties, disease-causing properties. So when you do that, you create more of the bad bacteria and less of the good bacteria. Now, when you put something good in there, that good bacteria isn't a big enough population to handle all that new good food. You got to wait till they grow. So changing your diet more gradually, adding more fresh whole fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and whole grains in there will start feeding that bacteria, and they'll multiply and they'll push out the bad bacteria that you have been feeding while eating an animal-based diet. So if you can make that gradual transition, if not, you dump a bunch of that fiber in there, you don't have enough fiber-eating bacteria in there to eat all that, yes, you're going to get gastric distress. So that's the situation. Try to incorporate more and more gradually over time and allow your microbiome to adjust so that you have lots of good fiber-eating bacteria in there, and then the health benefits are coming. You know, a lot of people say, look, you don't have any wrinkles hardly. You're 60 years old and like no wrinkles on your face. And that's it. That's the plants. That's the health benefits of the plants. That's what people can get from these, because you're not creating all these free radicals in the digestive process of eating animal products.
Yeah, it's interesting because I had the same question. I'm not as young as many people know. You know what I mean? Like, I look younger than other girls, and a lot of the time, when I see plant-based, females in age, they look amazing too. So that's all a diet, guys. But adding to whatever you said, I also always recommend to try some probiotics and prebiotics when you switch to the plant-based diet. And it was tremendous change for me, because I think I was more addicted to dairy because I don't actually eat meat from 9 years old.
Wow.
So yeah, so I was vegan, not meat eater at all from like 9 years old. So sometimes I still used to eat fish, but not as often. So for me, it was like basically giving up dairy is a huge thing. And in dairy, some of those probiotics, prebiotics is really affecting your microbiome, and not in the best way. But when you take them out and don't replace with some vegan options, you may get in trouble, especially because your fiber intake is really, really high compared to the plant-based, compared to the American standard diet. So what I usually recommend to, again, you can reach to this supplement, is a lot of great vegan probiotics in there nowadays. But before you reach to the supplement, make sure to add some plant-based probiotics from just a regular cashew yogurt that you can make, or coconut yogurt at home. Some kombucha can help. Some sourdough can help. Some those salty cucumbers, crunchy ones, how you call them? I forgot. Yes, pickles can help, or pickled cabbage. I love the pickled cabbage too. So add those into your diet, and also just take it easy. Because again, I have a lot of clients who like, okay, I just gonna go fully turkey vegan, so tomorrow I eat a bunch of beans. Of course you're gonna feel bloated, and you add broccoli to it, you're gonna add spinach to it, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna be healthy tomorrow, I'm gonna have the best smoothie ever. And then you take spinach, broccoli, cabbage, you mix it all in the blender with vegan protein, which is high in fiber, you drink it, and you, oh my God, what just happened with my belly, right? So instead of that, like, be smart. You have an option to soak in the water for at least 6 to 10 hours your beans before you cook them. Help a lot. You just take easy on plants. So don't eat a huge amount of spinach in one sitting. Like go towards something like grains just when you just starting out, more rice, more oatmeal, more just lentils. Cook lentils can help you to make this smoother, and just don't give up. Also, the big problem I see with my clients, they want results so quickly that they don't give a chance to your body to adjust. You know, nowadays age, I'm young, you basically know, we all young people, press the button on your phone, you fly into Africa tomorrow, right? So it's so like we live in so fast paced life that we think our bodies is the same. No, they're not. 1 week, 2 week is not enough for your body to adjust. Give it 6 months and then see if this diet is working for you or not. So, for example, for you, when you switch to fully plant-based, how long does it take for you to feel great?
Well, I'm not a good example for that because I'm not the typical person, but you know, I quit drinking and smoking and doing drugs and eating all animal products all in one day.
Wow. So you was feeling so bad, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was basically killing myself from my depression. I just didn't care. So I was just doing it all. But I stopped it all in one day and then never went back. I never suffered in a single day of depression again in my 37 years since.
Wow.
So I'm so thankful that that had happened. Now, I was a athlete in college. I was a swimmer. So swimming is an extreme sport. It takes a lot of endurance, and it's probably one of the most muscle activating sports of all the sports because you use your entire body. Um, so I loved swimming for that reason, but I started getting into lifting weights to improve my swimming in high school and college. And I'm like, well, I like lifting weights even better. It feels better. So that's what started me on that path. But I think whatever you're into, whatever sport, as long as you can stay active, you're going to see the benefits of it. And also it'll help your body. Your body becomes much more efficient the more active you are with the foods you eat. Um, Even if you are not a vegetarian or vegan, even if you're a full-blown meat eater, your body can still actually deal with the meat better if you're exercising. I do a weekly podcast myself. Thank you for doing this and having me on, but I talk about all the research, like how the iron in animal products, right? All animal products have this form of iron called heme iron. It's actually toxic for humans. It is cancer causing. So when you eat it, it goes so much into the bloodstream, our body pushes back against it, creates this thing out of the liver called hepcidin and stops the heme iron. Well, then heme iron builds up in the colon, and that's why it causes colon cancer. And colon cancer is the #2 killer of men and women in the United States
Yes.
for
And what's the
cancer.
number one?
Heart attacks.
Which is affected by almost the same thing.
Exactly. Heme iron can lead to the damaging of your arteries, which then can lead to heart attacks and stroke. There it is. It's all real simple. Plants do not have any heme iron in it. It's only found in flesh, and it's found in fish, poultry, lamb, whatever. So it's all animal flesh. Doesn't matter where it comes from. They all have it. The plant iron is bound to phytic acid. This phytic acid actually can reverse the cancer cells. It can turn a cancer cell back into a healthy cell. That's nothing that any drug on the market can currently do right now. And plants do that to you every time you eat, if you eat the right whole food plants. Beans are one of the best sources, dark greens, phytic acid. So you get your iron from plants, you can reverse cancer. You get your iron from animal tissues, you can cause cancer. It's like we have a choice between the foods that we choose. Are you going to choose the ones that cause cancer, heart attacks, stroke, diabetes, or the ones that actually prevent and reverse these diseases? So don't get to 30 and 40 and say, God, why did you do this to me? God's going to look back down on it if you believe that, and to say, no, you did that to yourself. You have the right to choose. You know the information. The science is all down there. It's your choice. You choose to create that disease in your body or not create that disease in the body. That's why I love sharing this information, because it's empowering. It's information people can take and apply to their own lives and live a better life, live a disease-free life. Who doesn't want to give that gift to people? If you love people, if you care about other people, you want them to not suffer, right? It's
Absolutely.
I think people have turned this into a dogma. Oh, that's the way you eat. That's a real, it's not us and them. It's healthy or not healthy. That's all it is. Do you want to be healthy or not healthy? And do you want to suffer from diseases or not suffer from diseases? Do you want to be here for the people who love you and care about you? Or are you okay with dying at 30, 40, 50 years of age? That's the only question. It's not about, I'm telling you what you should eat. I'm telling you what happens when you choose those two different things.
Oh, yes. Oh, man, I couldn't say better. It was amazing. I think you're totally right. And great that we have that choice. Because I think a lot of the time people in the past, in the history, maybe didn't have that choice, because
Yes.
I will, again, I will be the bad commenter who always show up in my social media and saying, whoa, people eat meat from they were born, it's normal to kill the animals. I'm like, yeah, but people maybe didn't have a choice at that time. And we do now. And then it's obvious through this COVID, through the planet climate changes, it's obvious that really, really soon, all the people not going to have a choice. Actually, we all have to switch to the plant-based diet in some point. I think it's obvious right now. So you better do it earlier than later. That's
Yeah,
my
you
perspective.
can choose to change or be forced to change. We're all
Yes.
going to need to change to survive. Yeah. And that's what eating food should be about, survival, right? It's we have 47 trillion cells in our body, and we have about 5,000 to 10,000 cells on our tongue. Why are we choosing foods to please those 5,000 cells instead of feeding the 47 trillion cells that you need to stay alive, or it's game over?
Yeah. Wow. That's a powerful one. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I feel like I can talk to you forever. It's been a really nice conversation, but we have to wrap things up. And before I let you go, first of all, I want you to give some advice to listeners out there. One for those who maybe want to switch to plant-based diets, but kind of scary or have some thoughts. And for those who are already plant-based, but maybe want to choose and to, extend their career and do something similar that you do. So could you please give any advice to those two people?
Yes, of course. For those of you who are on the fence or considering or not even interested in it, but all I ask is read the research. There's so much good research out there right now. Yes, there's a lot of people touting bad research or old research, which is outdated. The new research that's coming out is very, very clear on the benefits of consuming more plants and less. And it's not an all or nothing. You don't have to go all the way to vegan, although that's going to help for sure. But you can add just more plant-based. It's a sliding scale. It's like good, better, best. You can take small steps. If that works for you, then do so. Just take steps moving towards a better and healthier diet. Because I feel the more you take those steps and get to feel how much better you feel, the more energy, the clearer thought, the less wrinkling of the skin, all of the different health benefits that you get. Once you get that, you'll be motivated to say, God, I feel so good. What can I do more next?
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that are already vegan or vegetarian, get out there and do whatever it is you do. If you're an artist, paint about it. If you're a scientist, do lectures about it. If you're an actor, try to get into something, but just take whatever you love and you're good at and bring that element to it and help other people, because the better we can be examples that people say, wow, you look great. How do I get like that? You know, that's a woman. I was drinking in a bar and I actually met a woman. She was just beamingly happy. And I said, oh my God, how do you get like that? I walked straight up to her. She was such a shining example. She drew me to her to say, I want what you've got. So be that example, be that shining example for the movement. That will get people more inspired. You know, I work out in the gym. I work out really intensely, and I'm, you know, got my, you know, full, and people see the vegan shirt and yeah, you look great, you look awesome. But, and they say, wow, how do you get that? But they walk up to complete strangers almost every day, come up to me and ask me questions, and be open and be present and be sharing with them. And we can really, really change the world just by being a great example. And thank
Yeah.
you for what you're doing. I always want to appreciate all of the people out there helping, because this movement is not about one person. It's about the animals. It's about our planet. It's about all of us. We all need to change and do better, and we all can. And inspiring each other is the best way to do that.
Yeah, this is so good to say. It's amazing. And thank you so much for saying this. I think you're absolutely right. So don't be shy to share what you eat, what you do, if you are just even trying out the plant-based, you know, things out there, because I know a lot of people are kind of stay away and don't really want to talk about that. Like I was kind of the same way. And then I was, no, like I should, you know, let people know, because I even do those NPC or IBB Pro shows just to show other competitors, other girls, that this is possible. We all talk on the backstage. Even though I have much less muscle than they are, I keep doing those because I know that people have to see me out there, you know, and see that it's possible. So many people come to me too every day in the gym, in the shows, even in the supermarket. It was so funny. I get some, you was talking about this story just a couple days ago. It wasn't my favorite, down to earth. It's like a vegan vegetarian mainstream supermarket here, and I was on the market, and then I find out the woman following me, like she was really taking the same thing that I did. You know, from the shelves. And then I finally like turn around and I said like, are you do it on purpose, or like I feel like you following me? And she's like, I just want to look like you, so I can take all what you take.
That's awesome.
It was so funny because I just also know that it's not only what you eat, it's 90%, but you know, you have to do something, you have to work out, you have to, you know,
Yes.
do at least some type of exercise. So she made me laugh so much. And I said to her, okay, but let's just meet in the gym too, because I wanted to make sure you put those carbs and fats and grains in the right places, just in case. So anyone out there who listen to us, please don't forget, not only eat, but also exercise regularly.
Yes.
And yeah, in order to achieve your best, healthiest ever physique. So thank you so much for today. I really appreciate you spend your time with us. I absolutely happy to go to your expo and to this competition, and you guys should check it out too. So a quick reminder, it's going to be on April 15 in Florida, and all the description down below I will leave for you guys to check it out and buy your tickets right now, because it's maybe sold out really soon. Who knows how many people we can, you know, hold right there, right? So thank you so much. And I know that we can listen to you again. So you also have your podcast. Could you tell us the name of that? So I will add it in the description down below too.
Yes, you can find out at Clean Machine Fit, and on Instagram and Facebook, it'll be posted. It's a live, so you can do live questions, Q&A, every Thursday at 4, and unless there's a holiday or a vacation or something.
Perfect. That's amazing. Oh my God. I love your podcast as well. It's so much great information, guys. So don't miss out on those as well. And if anyone want to follow your journey, do you have anything like Facebook or Instagram you want to share?
Yes, on Facebook, you can follow me at Geoff Palmer. That's GeoffPalmer. Palmer, Geoff Palmer. I'm mostly on Facebook. I do very little posting on Instagram. So if you want to see that, that's where most of my posting done is on Facebook. Of course, all of our videos, my Clean Machine Lives, are reposted on YouTube, and you can follow that at Clean Machine Online at YouTube.
How about TikTok, Geoff?
Not yet. We need to get on TikTok.
So many platforms, but I want to see your funny videos on TikTok, so we're gonna all wait for that.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, I hear you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night, or wherever you're in the world. Bye-bye.